Okay, so this is just going to be a quick video, basically an update video on my Windows security. So the reason for this video is that I still have to run Windows on my laptop because for some reason Linux does not like it. Keeps freezing randomly even though I installed different distros on it. I had Debian, all the Debian versions, Fedora, and Arch even on there, and it just does the same thing right through. So I think it's an underlying Linux driver, graphics driver error. I don't know. I'm done with it. So I have to run Windows on there for now. And the best option I found, if I have to run Windows 11, it has to be Windows 11 Enterprise. So I just got that. I actually bought a key. I don't know how legit it is, but yeah, I did pay for the key, and I'm running that now, but it's temporary. But I want to up the security for that machine. So for that machine, I just replicate a VM. So I've got the same one on the laptop. So it's just a few security features. At Enterprise got more security features that's not enabled by default than Windows 11 Pro. But I mean, you're not going to use everything. Some is used for Active Directory and big enterprises, so it's not necessary. So let's just run through the normal security features quickly to see what's not enabled. So this is a clean install, and as you can see, app and browser control is not turned on. Just turn on everything, because Windows needs, I suppose, all the help it can get because it's so targeted. Device security. So memory integrity is off. So we can put that on, but I think it's going to need a reboot. And it might give me a problem because this is a VM. I'm not sure. So, okay, so it says restart. So that looks good. Dismiss that. Let's go back. Let's go to virus threat protection quickly to see if everything is on. It's just a good practice to do when you have a new install, or any install really, just to check all your settings. Virus threat protection settings, it should be all blue, and then control folder access, that's usually off, because it can be a little bit annoying if you're gonna save files and install apps. It will have a pop-up blocking it, and then you have to allow it. But I mean, that's actually a good thing. Right, so that's just exclusions, always on there. Protection updates. Okay, that's just updates. That's that ransomware protection. It's just in here now. It's the second folder. Right, so account protection, I'm using a local account. And then firewall, we can just quickly go in there. I'm not using domains, obviously. So in your private, you obviously want to allow things to reach your private network. And then all incoming. If you're on a LAN, that might be a problem, so you can leave that. But definitely the public, you want to block everything, all incoming, because nothing needs to get to your system or your network from the outside, from the internet. Except if you want to host something, I suppose. But yeah, block that. That's just an easy setting to do. Device security, sign with Microsoft. Yeah, just dismiss that because it's complaining about a Microsoft account. Did I go to device security? No. Core isolation details. Okay, it's all on. So I was in there, I suppose. Security processor. Just shows you the details. Secure boot. Obviously, you have to set that in your BIOS. So definitely put it on in your BIOS. So just reboot and go into BIOS and check for secure boot somewhere. Sometimes then they call it a little bit, give it a little bit of a different name. Just set it. Okay, I don't bother with encryption because I don't carry my laptop around. So if it gets if you do that, and it gets stolen, then your stuff is encrypted, which is a good thing. But for me, no. Right, that's just the basic security stuff that you need to check up on. So there was a few things off. Right, and then there's basically just one setting to set, and it's credential guard and device guard. And you have to go to your group policy editor, and just set that quickly. Let's open my notes quickly. On enterprise, sticky notes is not even installed. It's so unbloated, it's great. Just forget about Edge, might as well stay. Right, so in my list I have BitLocker. So obviously if you want to encrypt your stuff, then do it. And then to see what your default security settings are, let's just run this in PowerShell. So by default, run as administrator. So by default, mine is, can I? Oh, it doesn't work like here. I don't even know how to zoom in, eh? Anyway, let's just run that. So not a lot is enabled. I mean, it goes from 1 to 7, I think. So 2, 4, and 5. So you can just Google that, or put it in Gemini and ask what is 2, 4, and 5. So this is secure boot and TPM and all that stuff. So I need to enable more stuff in here. Right, so let's just minimize that. You can check your secure boot if it's on with this command. If it's actually on. So mine is, so I did set it. When I set up this VM, I actually enabled secure boot. Right, so that's good. And then let's go to device guard. So that will be in administrative templates system. And then device guard. So credential guard is in there as well. So they run together. And then turn on visualization based security. It's basically the only thing that you have to do. I think I'm not that clued up with security stuff, but enable that. And then secure boot and DMA protection. It might not be, your machine might not be DMA protection compatible. Then just use secure boot, but I'm just gonna set it that. Visualization based protection of code integrity, go to enable with UEFI lock. So if you want to know what all this means, they have a nice description here on the site, what everything does and so on. So here's your credential guard configuration. So obviously enable with UEFI lock. Right in the machine identity isolation configuration, that's more to do with Active Directory stuff. So I'm not going to say that. That's for big enterprises and so on. Secure launch configuration, why not enable? And then kernel mode hardware enforces stack protection. You can enable it, but I think if there's some compatibility issues, if one is not working, this won't work. So I don't know, you can set it, go deeper in that and set it, but I'm just going to set those ones. Say okay, and then you obviously have to reboot, so all that is good. So let's just run that one thing again. Let's see, yeah, I have to reboot. Right, so that's all you set in there. That's basically the only thing you have to do. There's a ton of other stuff. You can go deeper into device guard, where it basically blocks applications by default and allows the one that it trusts. So, and you can whitelist devices and software and so on if you want it to run. But yeah, it's a great feature to have there. So I wonder now, let's reboot and see if it actually would work. That was everything, yeah, restart. So hopefully it kicks in now, because I know my own system. If I go there quickly, I go to, where's my PowerShell? Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, and 5. It's good enough for me. I mean, it's your credential guard and device guard, TPM, secure boot, all that stuff is in there, is enabled, and hopefully running. Right, by running that command, you'll get all this information. There's another command, get computer info. So if you want to run the GUI, oh, it's just, oh, there's just a small detailed of what's all the stuff on your computer. Where's the, what was the other one now? I think it's MSI or something. Oh, I didn't run it here. Okay, whatever. Proxmox, yeah, Windows, huh? Eats up all the processing power. My poor Proxmox machine is not the fastest machine in the world. As you can see, running Windows on here is eating it up. That is the, yeah, so I've only got 16 gig RAM on here anyway, so it's a bit of a problem. All my Linux distros, it's not a problem too much. But if I run Windows, I can only run Windows. Especially Windows Pro, it's just gonna kill it, but Enterprise is doing a bit better. Because it's lightweight and de-bloated. And not a lot of stuff is running on it. So I need to just log in. Right. I mean, Microsoft is basically forcing us to run Enterprise because there's no ways. I've been on Windows 11 Pro and yeah, it's not nice, man. It's just too slow and it's bloated. There's a lot of shit in there. If you have to run Windows, it has to be Enterprise. If you can get your hands on Windows 10 Enterprise, I wouldn't say it's better, but I mean, why not? Because there is, I think, support till 2030 or something for Windows 10 Enterprise. So yeah, I don't think they give a shit really if we run Enterprise, especially if we did buy a key. Obviously the money is not going to them, I suppose, or I don't know how those companies work that supply the keys. Oh my god. But I'm not planning to run Windows. So my Windows on this system is 11 Pro. It's legit. I bought it a legit key. But the other one is basically just for testing really. So what am I doing now? Partial. Partial. Come, let's go. Yeah, that command. Let's open this. But yes, once you've done all this, I mean, your system should be nicely secure. There is other stuff that you can do by posting vulnerabilities. So it's basically Microsoft scans your system, all the apps that you install. But I mean, it's like spying on you, isn't it? And you upload a lot of information back to their servers for analysis and all that crap. So you can do that too. I mean, it's pretty cool actually. They use AI to obviously scan and analyze stuff. Now what is now the problem? Let's go. Let's just copy it again. Slower than slow. Okay. It didn't take. So there's some more stuff to do then. Let me just quickly check what the problem is. Okay, I forgot. My Proxmox machine doesn't support nested virtualization. It's an old box, old CPU, old AMD I can't even remember, 810 or something. But yeah, it will work if you run it on normally on your straight on your hardware and not through a VM. It will work. So you will see more numbers there, as you can see in my own system. Is it in here now? Ooh, wow, so many stuff. Yeah, 1 2 3 5 and so on. So I just run it here. This is my actual box, and yeah, the virtual nested virtualization is the problem there. But anyway, that should be it. So once you're secure in here, what's now the problem here? What is it nagging about? Device security. I'm not gonna. What are you talking about? Memory integrity is off. Your device may be vulnerable. This could be because it's a VM as well. I don't know. Some weird stuff. Firmware protection. Yeah, it has to be. But anyway, once you've checked your security settings in there and did this device guard setting in your group policy, you should be good to go. And your firewall, obviously. That's pretty much all the security features you need on here. I mean, it will be pretty secure, and then obviously don't do stupid things like click on any file, executable, or go to crazy sites. Your system will be safe. Very safe. Okay, so once we've done all of those basic settings, it's time for important stuff, and that's hardening up your defender. So we're gonna harden it up with ASR rules. So it stands for attack surface reduction. It's pretty much closing doors, a bunch of doors, so that people can't get in. So making your attack surface smaller by having a few rules enabled. Right, so what we want to do is, let me just think now. What do I have here? Yeah, okay, so check security PowerShell. Right, so I had to write or generate a few scripts for checking. The one will check all my security on my PC. So it will check all your security that is enabled and the ones that's not enabled. So it's actually a nice little script to run. So I had to do this to see what is working and what is not. So let's just open PowerShell quickly. So that will be, so you have to install PowerShell 7 for the script to basically function correctly. PowerShell 7 is just better. Right, so we open that, and then we want to see what is happening on my system. So this is the base system still, but I have enabled that credential guard and what is it, application guard. So that should show up. Right, so what am I doing? Let's go to my place where my scripts are. So that is there. So let's run the check. So I just call it check.ps1. So what am I doing now? What am I doing wrong? Ugh, yes. I swear. It's a dot backward slash check ps1. Funny. So let's make this a bit bigger. Should shift. Yeah. Right, so what the script basically does, just running a few commands in sequence. Okay, let's go. Right, so first it will just shows what Windows you are running. So I'm running Windows 11 IoT Enterprise LTSC. So if you don't believe me, I can show you here, just to show you that the script is actually getting all that information. So yeah, Enterprise all the way. if you have to run Windows. Okay, there it is. IoT Enterprise LTSC. Right. So we're definitely running that. So it will list the Windows that you're running. So if you're running Pro, it will show Pro. Right. Hardware security features. So it will show you, is your secure boot enabled in your BIOS? Mine is. This is a VM, so some of the stuff won't work because I'm running this VM on a very old CPU that doesn't have nested virtualization and all of that stuff built in. So TPM is enabled. Right, and then system security features, so your virtualization based security. This is your credential guard and application guard stuff that we've enabled earlier. So it's enabled. This one is credential guard running, says disabled because it's not supported on this old CPU in this VM, but yours will show enabled, especially if you rebooted your system after setting it. And it will suggest what to do if it's disabled here, which is cool. So memory integrity enabled, same problem there with my VM. Code integrity policy, that's enforced. UAC obviously is enabled. Okay, and then Windows Hello. Right, and then the antivirus. My Defender is obviously enabled and real-time protection is on. So we can quickly just switch off real-time protection just to see if the script will pick it up as off. Let's go there. It's that first one. Right, and then we have to run the script again. Let's give it a second or two just to see if picks it up. Yeah, it says real-time protection disabled. Okay, let's just put that on again. Yeah, good. So it picks that up. So if your antivirus is off, you can actually check it here. And then it suggested as well. Okay, then your attack surface reduction. This falls under the antivirus of Defender. So all these rules need to be applied. So it shows all these rules. Now, if we go to a specific site, this guy created this site to actually generate this commands for you if you want to do it manually. If you want to manually just run these commands in PowerShell separately. So there's a bunch of rules that I don't want to apply all of them because it might break your system. There's a lot of, you know, Office stuff in there and maybe some network stuff. I'm not sure, but I've just honed it down to 7 rules. That's perfect for a normal home PC that runs games, applications, that sits on your LAN network, and so on. So it's just basic stuff. So these rules are more than enough. The 7 rules I picked from here. But I mean, if you want to enable all of them and see what breaks what, you can do it. So this is the site. It's ASR Gen, ASR configurator. So all it does is, as this bunch of rules that you can enable on your computer, you can pretty much just choose the ones that you want enabled. So this one is vulnerable sign drivers. Definitely want to block that. So you have to click on enable, block. You can put it in audit or warn mode. Audit just audits it, shows you what's happening, and then warn, it will actually ask you to block it. But I want it blocked from the start. If you only want that one, you can say generate that specific command, and there's the command. You can cut and paste this into PowerShell and run it. Right, so if you want to block all of this, yes, a setting here, enable all, and it will generate the code for you. There, cut and paste into PowerShell, run it, but that will block everything. So I would not really do that. And that will block it. It won't warn it or nothing. So you can manually do all of this, or you can just run the script I've created here, and it will okay, so this is just the check to see what's enabled. As you can see on this machine, nothing is enabled. No rule is enabled. Enable real time. Oh, okay. So there that is. Okay, let's go down to network. It shows you network security. So your domain, private and public is all enabled. And it's all open. It's the inbound connection is not blocked on all three of them. So you definitely want your inbound connection to be blocked on your public from the internet, except if you're gonna host something, and it suggests it here as well. On the private one, you don't want your obviously your inbound to be blocked. Right, and then data protection, that's just BitLocker stuff. It will show you if your stuff is encrypted or not, if your drive or whatever. This is just Windows updates on this. VM, it's disabled or stopped. I think because it's enterprise, not all the updates are enabled, only the security updates, which is great. So that's why it kind of shows that, but it does update the security. Right, and then as a summary, the script will show you everything that's enabled and everything that's not enabled. Pretty much disabled. Right, so this is a nice check of all your security stuff on your computer. Right, so let's move on. So I've checked security. So I haven't enabled any rules. So let's just see if my LAN, I can show you my LAN is still working, hopefully. So if I click on network here, there's my other two PCs on the LAN. If I open them, there's the shared folder. So that is still working. Right, and then we're gonna do that after we've actually enabled some of these rules. So install some software, see if it gets blocked. And so on. Yeah, so let's see, enable ASR rule. There's that one. So let's open my PowerShell again. Let's clear this. Where is that one now? That's a disable ASR. I had to create a disable one too, just to enable it again. So enable ASR rules. So let's see if this actually works. So it will run through them and enable those 7 rules that I've picked, but you can have different rules picked for you, but this is the best options for not breaking your system. Okay, that's just restarting Defender, that's not a problem. So yeah, that one is just disabling and enabling them, cleaning out arguments could be a create this problem, so I'm not too worried about that. So reboot you might have to reboot, but let's just run the check again to see if the stuff is enabled or not. As you can see there, those 7 ones are in the green now. So it was all red. So the ones I've chosen is now enabled and blocked. So that's impersonated system tools, okay. Obfuscated scripts, right. Ransomware protection, there's one there. That signed drivers is enabled. Credential stealing is enabled. Safe mode reboot, that's a vulnerability too now these days, I say. So I haven't actually blocked the Adobe Reader, creating child processes. Same with Office, because some people are still using that stuff, but I'm gonna block it on my system because I don't use any Office product or Adobe. Right, so I should actually block that. Okay, the rest of the stuff is just the same. So there's those rules now in the green side of it, all blocked. Yeah. So like I said, if you don't want to run my script, you can go to that guy's site and just run it from here. But I mean, my script is easier. And if you don't trust it, you can just paste it into Grok or Gemini and ask it, is this malicious script or not? But anyway, yeah, enabling those rules is pretty important. It will harden up your defender, which is great. And yeah, that is pretty much all I wanted to say. So actually, a very good thing to run is these rules. It's more than enough to protect your Windows now. Obviously, if you don't do anything stupid like clicking on everything, you should be good. So yeah, good.